Good afternoon, folks. Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Let's discuss the Yonkers IG. What does the office of the IG, Yonkers Inspector General, do? What is their role here in the city of Yonkers? And are they currently investigating anyone for anything here in the city of Yonkers? We know there's a lot going on. There's a lot to be looked into, but what's going on with the IG? I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Good afternoon. I wanted to discuss the IG. I recently have been getting information from a source in regards to complaints that were filed by a gentleman named Sam Dadal. Sam Dadal, and I may be saying the last name incorrectly, but Sam Dadal is a plumber who's had a plumbing company here in the city of Yonkers for a very long time, over 30 years. And everyone that I've spoken with about Mr. Dadal have said nothing but great things about him. And over the 30 years of doing business here in the city of Yonkers and doing business the right way, he has developed a relationship with the building department, one in which he would get permits fairly quickly because of the relationship, the long-standing relationship, his reputation in the business. But very recently, when Sam Borelli became the building department commissioner, things changed for Sam Dadal. No longer was he getting his permits in the timely manner that he was used to. 1 day, 2 days, right? He was now having to wait as much as 200 or so days. Sometimes it'd be 2 weeks. Sometimes it'd be 30 days. Sometimes it'd be 100, 200 days. And he wondered what was going on. Why all of a sudden was his permits being delayed? And now this cost him business. In contracting, time is money, and clients want their work done quickly. If a developer needs gas lines, sewer lines, water lines put in, they're on a schedule. They want to go with a contractor that is not only good and going to get the job done correctly and give a good price, but also that can secure permits quickly. Time is money. And anyone that's ever dealt in the construction business know that permits can cause delays, which ultimately cost money. And so this caused Mr. Sam Dadal to lose business. Clients were going to other companies. And what companies were they going to? Well, according to complaints filed by Sam Dadal, they were hiring Virgil Borelli. Virgil Borelli, the son of Sam Borelli and his plumbing company. Sam Borelli's son was a competitor of Sam Dadal. And when Sam Dadal began to investigate, he started to notice that Virgil Borelli's permits were being issued fairly quickly, many times the same day. Meanwhile, Sam Dadal was waiting forever to receive permits. So I wanted to talk about this because complaints have been filed with the IG. And according to the source that's sending me information, nothing's really being done. Now, I can't tell you for a fact if the IG is not looking into it. Maybe they are investigating it quietly. I don't know. But nothing's been mentioned officially from the IG's office or from anyone in City Hall. And these complaints were filed last year, beginning in September, all the way up until December 31st. Yet nothing. And many of you may know that Sam Dadal recently was either fired or retired. They let him go. They let him retire. I'm not sure which one it was. I was under the impression that he was fired. But according to information that I'm getting, they let Sam Borelli retire because of these complaints that were filed. And so rather than investigate the complaints, check to see what Sam Borelli's been up to, and then if they found anything wrong, firing Sam Borelli, they allowed him to retire. And so if they do investigate now, he's already retired. So what are they really going to do about it, right? So what is the IG? Who is the IG here in the city of Yonkers? The IG is a man by the name of Liam McLaughlin. Liam McLaughlin has a long history here in the city of Yonkers. He's been on this Yonkers City Council. He was the Yonkers City Council president. His family was very involved politically, especially in the Republican Party. Liam McLaughlin is a Republican. He's a former council president of the Yonkers City Council. He's a practicing attorney, according to his Wikipedia page. On November 7, 2017, McLaughlin lost his reelection bid in a Democratic upset against attorney and CIA veteran Mike Cater. McLaughlin is now serving as the Inspector General. What is the Inspector General's role? What is their responsibilities? Right, I'll get into that in a second. Liam McLaughlin grew up in Yonkers on the east side. He attended Cardinal Spellman High and Fordham University, where he received a bachelor's in accounting in 1989. He went on to work at Ernst & Young, then went to law school in 1996. However, Liam McLaughlin has no law enforcement degree or experience, no investigatory experience whatsoever. Basically, he's just an accountant / attorney. And you know how many people feel about those guys, right? Double whammy. McLaughlin's family are lifelong Republicans who oppose the desegregation of housing in schools. It's a very well-known case back in the 80s, right? And early 90s. The deseg made national headlines. Liam McLaughlin's family were very involved in a group who were opposed to the segregation or desegregation, I should say, of the housing in the schools. If you don't know about it, it's a time when the courts found that Yonkers was intentionally segregating the schools and housing, keeping minorities, mostly blacks and Hispanics, on the west side of the city, a part of town that is now highly sought after. But there was a point when that was the ghetto, that was undesired. And they wanted to keep all the riffraffs and all the problems and crimes over on the west side. So they intentionally redlined. And realtors even guided black families who were looking to purchase homes, black families who could afford to buy a house. They wouldn't show them houses in certain areas of Yonkers. They purposely took them to where Runyon Heights is, right? And that's why you have many black families who own property, who own homes living there. And that was then divided with a piece of a strip of land that it's still there now over by the Homefield bowling area of Tuckahoe Road over there, right? So blacks were on one side, the whites were on the others. But a judge ordered Yonkers to fix it. They needed to build more affordable and low-income housing over on the east side. And that was a hard-fought battle, cost the city a lot of money, and they made a show about it, Show Me a Hero. But the McLaughlins were, they played a role. They were instrumental in that group that opposed this desegregation of housing in schools. And I'm not trying to say that they're racist. I'm just giving you the facts, just telling you what it is. You can go look it up. Liam McLaughlin also belongs to the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Hibernians. It's an Irish Catholic fraternal order where you must be male, Catholic, and Irish. Isn't that discrimination? Liam first ran for office as a conservative in 1997. Didn't win, but he was elected to city council in 1999 as a Republican and served from 2000 to 2010. He then ran for Senate against Andrea Stewart Cousins in 2010, unsuccessfully. He would eventually be elected city council president in 2013 as a Republican until Zahi Jerris came along and got out of jail and wanted to get back into politics. And of course, he got with his cousin, Mike Cater, who then ran against Liam McLaughlin, and Mike Cater would win, becoming the new city council president. After his loss, Liam McLaughlin was named the Inspector General in 2020. So, and he's been the Inspector General ever since. So what has he done in his tenure as Inspector General? What are his accomplishments thus far, right? What has he done? The IG's office has a budget of $736,000. In 2022, that budget was $497,063, a difference of $238,964. So why the increase? What are Yonkers taxpayers getting in return? What is the role of the IG? And that's what I want to talk about. What is the role of the IG? What is the Yonkers Inspector General supposed to be doing? This is from the Yonkers website, the city's website. Liam McLaughlin, the mission, the Department of Inspector General's mission is to conduct objective and independent audits. Many people have asked for the departments here in the city of Yonkers to be audited, but we haven't seen that done. Reviews and investigations relating to Yonkers City government and the administration of the Yonkers public schools in order to promote economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, detect and deter fraud, waste, and abuse, promote ethical, fiscal, and legal accountability. The focus of the office effort is first and foremost, to help promote effective, efficient, and honest government administration and to aid in the prevention of conduct that undermines the integrity of the government. Well, we've seen a lot of that happening here in the city of Yonkers. We have been questioning the integrity of our Yonkers City Council for quite some time now. There are instances where investigations should have been launched, and many people wonder why have they not. So far, the only investigation that we've seen come out of the IG's office that's been related to politics or government was the investigation into Mike Cater over quid pro quo allegations stemming from a Yonkers Tribune article. And then a letter from from Ron Mattin to the Yonkers City Council, who then drafted a letter and forwarded that complaint to Liam McLaughlin. This was 2021, when Mike Cater was running for re-election. And what did Liam McLaughlin, the Inspector General, do? He investigated. He launched an investigation. He didn't think it was political silly season, even though there were elections going on. He investigated the city council president during a re-election year. So was it political? Because as of late, nothing has been found. But it has cost us taxpayers almost $900,000 for this investigation into Mike Cater. Something that the people never really wanted, didn't ask for, didn't think needed to be done. But it was investigated anyway. But there have been other instances where the people have wanted to see an investigation. And very recently, many believe that Tasha Diaz should have been investigated for attempting to award her campaign manager a no-bid contract. She tried to award ACES Communication and Consulting a no-bid contract for $30,000 for 6 months with the option to extend, but it was taken off the agenda by the city council president because she knew what was going on. She's an attorney after all, and so is Liam McLaughlin. So if the city council president found that to be inappropriate, forcing the removal of this item from the agenda, why didn't the Yonkers Inspector General believe it to be important to investigate? Investigate the majority leader at the time for attempting to award her campaign manager a no-bid contract. Her campaign team has a history of corruption, a documented history of corruption. That should be concerning to all residents, and it should be concerning to the Inspector General. If I were the inspector general, I would definitely be looking into this. She has individuals who have been convicted and sentenced to jail for political corruption. She's trying to award that man's son, her campaign manager, a no bid contract. Maybe something's not kosher here. Maybe there's something I should be investigating here. Is he investigating? I doubt it. I don't want to say he's not. We don't know, but I doubt it. And why didn't the city council president call for an investigation? You know, you can't just say, you know what, that's not okay. You can't be doing that, Tasha. Let's just remove it off the agenda and then move forward as if nothing happened. That right there shows that we cannot trust our government, that we have elected officials that are willing to commit crimes, that are willing to be corrupt, that are willing to funnel taxpayer money to their campaign managers. That should have been investigated. But it wasn't. Seems like the city council loves the inspector general. City council approves reappointment of Liam McLaughlin. This was December 16, 2023. Of course they would reappoint them. They are told to reappoint them. He's not going to investigate any of them. He should have investigated Mike Breen, and I'll tell you why in a second. Council Minority Leader Mike Breen said the council has received good, frank advice from him. He continues to help the city. How so? Council Majority Leader, former Majority Leader Tasha Diaz said, I think McLaughlin is doing an awesome job. We can also call on him. Well, what about the people? Can they call on Liam to investigate your ass, Tasha? I mean, we all see it. Corazon Pineda Isaac said, I have reached out to him on constituent concern and he has answered professionally and promptly. What does that mean? What concerns did the constituents have besides investigating you guys and gals? Council President Lakeisha Collins Bellamy said, he has been an excellent IG. He takes his role seriously and issues opinions that are always fair and just. On what? Well, very recently, as I mentioned earlier, I was receiving documents in regards to complaints filed by Sam Dadal. And now this is related to the former Yonkers Building Department Commissioner, Sam Borelli, a man that should have never been the Building Department Commissioner to begin with. One, he was not qualified until Mike Breen introduced legislation to reduce the qualification so that Sam Borelli could get the job. Why did they want him in that role so bad that they would introduce legislation, waste the taxpayers' money by having a meeting to introduce legislation to reduce the requirement that the building commissioner must have in order to hold that position? Why would we want to do that? Mike Breen? And why would we want to do that for a man like Sam Borelli, a man who has had a shady past over at DPW? A man that was suspended for 2 weeks without pay because he was giving his son city contracts. The IG investigated it at the time. No, not Liam McLaughlin. It was Brendan McGrath. He investigated Sam, and he was suspended. So why would you name him the building department commissioner? History repeats himself because he was doing the same thing again. He was awarding his son permits right away, same day, while holding up other contractors' permits intentionally. And this has been all documented very well by Sam Dadal. So I'm wondering, is the IG investigating this? Are they investigating the building department and Sam Borelli and Mike Breen? Why did he reduce the requirement for? Did he have a part in getting Sam Borelli in this so Sam could do what he was doing up in the building department? Did Mike Breen know about this? It's just begs to, I want to read this complaint from Sam Dahl. This is another one. I was called to give an estimate for a new water and sewer service line for 20 Amberson Avenue in Yonkers. The customer informed me that a previous plumber filed for a water service line, a sewer service line, and interior plumbing work as well. The customer decided that he wanted me to do the outside water and sewer service instead of the plumber he originally had. After having a signed contract with the customer, I filed a plumbing permit for both outside services, but it was rejected. I was informed that it was denied due to an existing active permit filed by another plumber for the new water service, sewer service, and plumbing work. I emailed Commissioner Borelli about this matter, and his exact reply was, DHB does not allow two separate plumbers permits for the same work locations. DHB must have a change of plumbing contractor for the scope of work desired if a different plumber will be performing the work. So basically, a customer wanted Sam Dahl to do the job, right? But initially, that customer, I guess, had hired another plumber who filed for permits. Permits were issued to that other plumbing company. So Sam Dahl went and filed permits for the same job because he was now the contractor, the plumber that was going to be doing the job. Sam Borelli responds, you're not going to get the permits. They were rejected because there was another plumber on the job who had already filed. So they were open permits by another company, and he must go through a change of contractor in order to have his permits issued, right? So Sam Dahl said, why? They're not doing the work anymore. I'm doing the job now. The client wants me to do it. They haven't started anything. And he goes, and you've also issued permits on another job to another company who was in a similar situation. So why didn't you reject their permits? And he gave the exact details of that other job, right? So he goes, based on a thorough investigation, I came up with this permit on 23 Mulberry Street, in which a permit was issued to Spano Brothers, Inc. for a water and sewer service, while simultaneously an active permit was issued initially to SNL Plumbing and Heating Corp. So he's saying, why didn't you reject the Spano Brothers permits if there was already another plumbing company on that job, 23 Mulberry Street, which is La Mora Senior Development, being built by the Mulford Corporation, which is a part of Municipal Housing Authority of the city of Yonkers. So why didn't you reject their permits if there were two separate companies that have filed for the same job? Why are you rejecting mine and denying my permits? And that's just one example of, many of the issues that Sam Dahl had with the building department under Sam Borelli's tenure. And so he's complained about this to the Yonkers Inspector General. He goes, I'm having difficulty understanding how Spano Brothers, Inc. was able to file for a water and sewer service after a permit was issued to SNL Plumbing and Heating Corp. But when it comes time for my permit, it gets denied. Furthermore, I find it quite interesting how their permit was issued the very same day. So not only did they not get their permit denied, they got it issued the same day it was applied for, while most of mine have been taken days and in some cases weeks to be issued. This unethical display of favoritism towards other plumbing companies is causing me to not only feel discriminated against, but targeted as well. So is this being investigated by the Yonkers IG? This must be investigated. Because Sam Dahl is not the only business that has struggled with the building department. I complained about this myself. I dealt with this. I saw the intentional acts that they were doing to delay my permits, to delay my C of O, delaying my business and causing me ultimately to not be able to open up fully.
It was very blatant, and we have it well documented. And so I'm hoping that the IG investigate this, because there are a lot of people that would like to know what was going on in the building department, because it's caused them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's even preventing them from opening their businesses. It's not just Sam, it's not just me, it's a lot of other people who had issues like this. People who also were shaken down. I spoke to several business owners here in Yonkers who told me about their dealings with the building department and how ultimately they were being shaken down. They did what the building department asked them to do, but for some reason, they still were not being issued C of Os, or their permits were not being allowed to be closed out until they paid these inspectors. This is a huge problem in the building department. So why isn't the IG investigating this? Or is he? So again, according to letters and other docs received by the Ledger and myself, the Yonkers Ledger also got this. It appears that Sam Borelli was intentionally delaying building permits while issuing permits for his son's plumbing company many times the same day. According to recent docs I obtained, and as I mentioned here, this is all recent stuff, Borelli again was issuing permits to certain companies, even though they had other permits issued to other companies on the same jobs, while they were denying Sam Dadal's permits because of the same reason. There was another company already had issues for the same job. So why were some companies getting away with that and not Sam Dadal? Was Sam Borelli scared of the Spanos? Oh, this is the Spanos. I got to make sure I issue their permit the same day. Doesn't matter if there's another company already with permits on that job. And I know about this because I went through the same thing on a job here in Yonkers that I was doing, where we had a change of contractor, right? A general contractor, the GC. We got a new company in there. So we had to file paperwork for a change of contractor. That takes time. That causes more delays, because now you have to go through all this. You have to send them the docs over. They have to review it. Then they have to okay it and issue you new permits under the new contractor's name. And that takes time. And again, that costs money. But if you're a certain company, if you're certain individuals, no delays. It doesn't matter what's going on the job. You get your permits the same day, especially if it's a job for municipal housing, like La Mora and Wilson Kimball and her Mulford Corporation. Maybe nothing illegal is going on there. Maybe a little bit of insider trading, but nothing else. No big deal, right? So I found this also while I was looking up just my own little research here. This is from 2002, and I found this to be very interesting. It says, the mayor of this city, the state's fourth largest, is at the center of a local ethics investigation examining the number of his relatives who are on the city payroll or who benefit from city spending. The city council this week forwarded to the city's inspector general a complaint by a Yonkers resident about Mayor John D. Spencer, a Republican, and his chief of staff, Catherine Spring, who lives with him. The complaint said that at least a dozen relatives of the two were on the city payroll or employed by agencies affiliated with Yonkers and companies doing business with the city. But beneath the accusations of nepotism simmers a fierce battle among the Republicans to control the local party. So basically, the city council at the time obviously were individuals who were somewhat ethical and had some integrity, forwarded a complaint to the IG in regards to the mayor, John Spencer, over nepotism claims. Apparently, he and his chief of staff, who lived with them, who he would eventually have kids with, had relatives working for the city, about 12. And they thought that it was that serious that they needed the inspector general to look into it. And so the city council drafted a complaint, just the way that the city council now drafted a complaint about Mike Cater. We've seen these complaints recently, right, of nepotism here in the city of Yonkers. What has our city council done about it? Did they draft up a complaint and ask the IG to look into it? No. They completely ignored it, saying nothing. IG called it political silly season. But back in 2002, the city council and the inspector general believed that that should be investigated. So we had that city council and we had that inspector general. They would be investigating the claims that were made by residents and was all over the news about the nepotism here in the city of Yonkers. But because we have now a group of puppets who are under the control of certain individuals, they will never do such a thing. They don't work for the people of Yonkers. While they take your tax money and put it in their bank accounts, they don't work for you. If you ask for an investigation into Tasha Diaz trying to award her campaign manager a no-bid contract, they ignore it. Even though the city council president thought it was inappropriate and unethical, so she had it removed from the agenda, still nothing is said. The inspector general hasn't conducted any investigations, really. But yet, his office is getting over $230,000 more a year of taxpayer money. Why? Doesn't seem like there's any problems in Yonkers. Seems like our government is perfect. There's nothing to see there. Nothing to see here, folks. Right? Is that what it is? Or is it that our city council and our inspector general are under control of the same individuals? And is that why he was appointed to the office and reappointed by the council? They know if they appoint someone who's truly going to go in there and do investigation, that it's over for them. There's a lot of things that should have been investigated that have not even been talked about, mentioned by our city officials. And that's a problem, folks. That is why we will never see accountability here in the city of Yonkers. And that is why we must vote for change. Next year, there are important elections. City Council President, District 6, District 2, that's Moranti, Corazon Pineda Isaac, District 4, John Rubo. So we have 4 seats going up, and we must come out to vote. We must come out to vote. It's time that we elect people that are going to work for the people that are going to actually audit our departments, save the city some money so our kids don't have to beg up in Albany. As Tasha Diaz says, the school district is facing an $87 million budget deficit. We need to bring an honest and transparent government back to the city of Yonkers, folks. So again, what is the Inspector General's office doing with all that money that they get from the taxpayers, besides putting it in their bank accounts? We talk about nepotism. Look at the Breens. There's a great op-ed in the Ledger. You guys should check it out. The Breen family, how much taxpayer money are they putting in their bank account? It's not fair that certain families can have damn near their entire families working for the city, a city that pays unusually high. And that allows them to have second and third homes. The Breens have a beautiful beach home on the Jersey Shore. How many of you would love to have a beach house on the Jersey Shore? And for what? What has Mike Breen done besides allow Sam Borelli to become the building department commissioner, where he screwed over other business owners? Like, what's going on here, Yonkers? It's time to wake up. And Democrats, I'm a Democrat. It's time that we consider voting for people outside the Democratic Party. We cannot focus on the party. We can't just go to the voting booth and just vote Democrat across the board, because the Democrats are killing us here. The Democrats seem to be the problem here. And so we need to come out and vote, especially the Latinos and the blacks. We have to come out and vote. We have to consider not voting Democrat. We have to look at the rents. Look at the cost of housing here in Yonkers going up, up, up. Where are the jobs? Who's running the city? Democrats. Has Yonkers improved? And I'm talking especially to the blacks and Latinos who are living on the Southwest side, and everybody of all colors on the Southwest side, but specifically black and Latinos. What has improved for you guys? What has improved for us? What here in the city has gotten better for the blacks and the Latinos? Where are the jobs? Where's the affordable housing? Has crime gone down? How's your quality of life? How are those roads? Horrible, right? How's that infrastructure? How are the schools? Is your child getting into the school? Did they get into the school that they like to, or they're going to a school because that's the only one that was available? Right? We have to do away with that lottery thing too. No, it's not fair. It's not fair. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics. It's something that we have to think about. What is the office of the IG's office doing for the city residents? How are they earning that money that they get? Why are they not investigating this stuff? Is he investigating the Sam the Dog complaints? That is very important. That right there shows favoritism, shows corruption, and many people were affected by it. Sam the Dog has provided a lot of information, according to what I've received, detailed information, making it very obvious to the IG. And there's enough information and evidence there for an investigation to be opened up if one has not already been opened into Sam Borelli, the building department, inspectors there, even planning examiners there. Don't just quietly let them walk out the back door and let it blow over because people lost a lot of money and we want some answers. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Check it out, folks. I'm going to be putting up more of the emails and stuff. By the way, Alexandra Bassesi, right? She's corporation counsel. Again, what happened? Did you block my email? I responded. They finally told me that they are looking into my FOIA request or FOIA request, whatever, right? But I'm really just looking to cross-reference to see if you guys have all the documents that I have, because what I have is very damaging, and it makes me question why there's no investigation happening. You know, people lost a lot of money. I know I was intentionally hurt by Sam Borelli in the building department. Intentionally hurt. Purposely stalled and delayed. Sam the Dog did a great job showing how others were receiving their permits same day while others had to wait weeks. Why is that? Why are all these officials and people connected to the city now opening up plumbing companies and electrical companies, right? Are they looking to take advantage of the developments going up, making certain developers have to hire certain companies? You want your permits fast? You got to hire this company. You want to make sure you don't have a problem with the city building department? Hire this company. Folks, they're not even inspecting some of these developments. Some of these developers have spent enough money in campaign funds that building department inspectors don't even go to their developments. They just, and so that's why a lot of the work is shoddy, and that's why a lot of people are complaining about the shoddy work. Lots of problems with these apartments that are being built along the water, right? So, you know, what's going on here? Where's the investigation, folks? I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics. Let's stay on their asses. Excuse my language. We got to stay on top of them. We got to make sure we hold them accountable. And again, it's important that we come out. And by the way, I went to a meeting on Monday. I was invited to a meeting. Actually, my wife was invited. I tagged along. It was a meeting of a Republican group, right? They were created in response to the lack of real Republican Party that exists here in the city of Yonkers. These are Republicans who are tired of the Republican Party here and have, been meeting. I believe they meet once a month, but it's really bipartisan. And, I went to the meeting and it wasn't just all about we hate the Democrats, go Republican. No, they actually had a guest speaker who talked about the what do you call it? The camps, the COVID camps or whatever, the concentration-like camps that they want to put people in if they deem them to be infected with some kind of disease, right? They can just go in your house and take you out. They can have the police come knock on your door and pull you out of your home and put you into one of these camps, So Kathy Hochul is trying to get, this legislation passed in order to, have the authority to do that. So this individual, a lawyer who's also a Democrat, was there speaking about how she and others are fighting this right now. They've taken it to the Supreme Court. They're working to, which is very important, folks. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, what you are. You don't want someone just coming to your home with the police saying, hey, we deem you to be infected. You have to come with us right now, and you can't do nothing about it. And they can just take you away and isolate you, right? This is what Kathy Hochul wants to do to New Yorkers. I mean, New York is getting really bad. New York and California, we are like the test states for all this craziness. And unfortunately, it's the Democrats in charge. So we have to really consider, do we want to continue voting for the Democrats? I mean, look at what they're doing with the migrants. They're giving them free housing for up to 2 years. They're actually doing developments for the migrants. And so I'm wondering, what are all these developments being built for? Many people can't even afford them, but they're just building away as if everyone's making money like that, right? Are they really building them for these migrants? They know that all these people are going to be coming over. They're going to need a place to live, and the government is going to pay for it. Or I should say you, the taxpayer. Is that what's happening? Is that why so much development is going on all over the country? Because we have many homeless people that are just out on the street, right? And we have all this development happening. Who is it really for? But they're already starting to do this in some states. They're paying for migrants to live in nice apartments. These apartments are just being built. And they're getting debit cards with money on it. This is what the Democrats are doing, right? So anyway, going back to that meeting, it was great to see people coming out. People are very tired of what's going on, but if you're interested in attending, reach out to me. I can give you the information. Again, it's bipartisan. I'm a Democrat there. The woman that was speaking, the guest speaker, was a Democrat, and she said it. It's not about party. She said she called herself a constitutionalist, right? It's about our Constitution. It's about this country and making sure that we have elected officials in there that are doing the right thing and that are not corrupt and that are not self-serving and funneling your tax money into their bank accounts. Right? And so it's important for us to come out and start to, discuss this and start to have our own town hall meetings, because our elected officials are not holding any. How many town halls has Mike Breen held? How many town halls has Tasha Diaz held? Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, Corazon, any of them? How many? How many have you attended? Right? How many meetings where they just sit with their constituents to discuss, things going on in the districts and how we can better the city of Yonkers, and to hear some of the complaints the constituents have? When was the last time they did this? That wasn't an election year. Right? Otherwise, they want you to pay to come hang out with them, right? They want you, they only have fundraisers. So folks, it's very important that we start to come out on our own as voters, as taxpayers, as residents here in the city of Yonkers, and start to focus on these elections coming up next year, because they're very important, and more people have to come out, and we have to think twice about how we're going to vote. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Have a beautiful day. Take care, folks.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.